So, welcome to, I guess, part 2. Yeah, it's just me doing some more modelling on this IDS Tornado, or IDS Tornado. Italleri 148. Yeah, so what I thought I'd do today is, I think we've got some jet exhaust put together. I'm going to do some more painting on this cockpit. So I'm just going to start painting, weathering that today. So I didn't really get any done yesterday. Oops, keep dropping this damn thing. We didn't really get much done yesterday, but the seats, I think we're just going to, what I'm actually thinking about doing is I'm going to try and use this Flory Models wash, the black wash, on the seats, just on certain parts in there. So I'm going to have to gloss it, or I might actually just put it on a semi-gloss. Actually, I think these have been glossed. I might just gloss it. No, but put wash on there. Going to do that. Just, I guess I'm going to start putting the cockpit together. And what I also have is I've gone outside and I've just gone into a fishing tackle box and I've just grabbed a sinker, which I'm just going to glue in the front here. So all it is saying put some weight in the nose, saying put 30 grams in there, but I don't know, it's probably a bit overkill that, but you know, I just want to make sure that it doesn't tip back. And then so you can see it sitting loosely in there. Yeah, there it is. And just whack it back in. And then what we're going to use for that is another new product which I also got from the Hobby Expo, which I haven't done a review on it yet, so we'll see how this goes. There's another product by EFD, Simply Glue, that I grabbed. It's Simtac 1000. It's a nitrile rubber contact cement. It's a very strong rubber. It's like it's a rubber glue. Like it's almost. It's really hard to explain, but I won't go too much into it. So you'll see it in action anyway. We're going to see it actually holds a fishing sinker in there. But I actually might do that now. So all we're going to do is I'm just going to zoom in a bit. Yes, that's me. So I'm just going to zoom in a bit. Might be a little bit blurry, guys, so I do apologise. But you can just see it there. So what I might actually do, so you guys can see it, is yes, I might get some. Just get some old blue tack here. It just doesn't have to be brand new piece. It's just off one of my painting bottles here, spray or airbrush bottles that I use the whole part on painting. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to jam a bit of blue tack on this screwdriver, because it is in a round handle, so it's kind of squarish. That's going to lock in there, hopefully. And I'm going to jam this on there so it doesn't go rolling around. That way you can see it. And Simtac 1000, you don't need to shake it up, okay? And it's, you see how thick this stuff is compared to the Tetra plastic solvent. You see it there, it's really I put it this way, it's thicker than cough medicine, and it's probably as thick as It's really hard to explain how thick this is. It's like slightly diluted honey. It's probably it's not as it's not as thick as honey, and it's not as it's thicker than cough medicine, so it's in between there somewhere. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get a old toothpick cocktail stick. So you can see that it's just in there. My ball's just dropped in there. Sinker. So I'm just going to put them in there. And I'm actually going to be quite generous with this too. So, whoops. I might clean that up before I go any further. So, just going to get a cotton Q-tip. Just going to wipe it out. Alright, so let's get a cocktail stick again. And I'm just putting it in the corners around the edge. So it is gonna, and being a rubber as well, can flex. It's not gonna snap. Because if I was to use super glue in there, one hard jolt, I guess the super glue will snap or ping off. But this rubber has a bit of flex to it as well as being very, very strong. Like it is an adhesive, so it's not just a. Should I put a big, not put a fair bit in there because I've got 100 mils of this stuff. It's not going to hurt it. That's why I pack it in there. Just got to be careful that it doesn't come running out the front hole, the front of the cane. There's a little hole there where the nose probe goes in there, so. Yeah, so what we're going to do is just going to, if I can find something I can drop in to dry, it would be perfect. So if you've got an old paint pot or something laying around, this will be the time to get it out. We'll have it out ready because I can do the cap back on this Syntac so it doesn't spill. Right. Oh, there you go. Still got an empty Tamiya extra thin jar. That'll work perfectly. So I'm just going to take the cap off this. There's nothing in it. It is completely empty. So it's going to drop in there to dry. So we're just going to put that aside for a while. We're not going to need that. Yeah, what do I do here? I'm actually thinking about not actually allowing the wings to move. I'm thinking about having them in a fixed position. So that's the bottom. So how's that go? Oops. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have it completely closed up. Maybe. We'll see. Guess we'll play with it. But I'm going to have to decide before actually glue it all together. Well, I'm going to do a test fix. I've never actually built a Tornado before, so this is all completely new to me. There's a couple of pins that go in there. And also there's some these two. Make sure that these are different. Um, okay. Diversion. One, was it A? 41, 42. So yeah. Should give these a little bit of clean up actually. It's a little frayed with some plastic sticking up. Just the tiniest bits of flash. Only needs a couple of passes with the UMP thinny stick and she's gone. So back to the side for a second. Just want to look at some instructions a bit more. So that's obviously an intake of some sort. So let's see if I can just file that bit out. So the intake here, just a bit of plastic that just doesn't look right. It's got to be painted black inside as well, so I've just got the old Trojan needlepoint file here. I'm just using, it's a rounded file, metal file. So you can see, yeah, just a rounded file. I'm just filing this out here. Just be trying not to sand too much, otherwise it's going to come through the plastic. And yeah, and also it's going to, you don't want to make it weak as well. You don't want a soft spot on the kit. You just and try and get this as neat as I can. Yeah, I don't think my hobby knife will actually get in there. And if anything, I'll probably take too much plastic. I'll hack a big hole in it. And, you see what I'm trying to do, but in there, like it's just not round enough there. I think this looks really weird. And also, there's something wrong with my camera. I've tried all the settings, but everything just seems to be stretched out a little bit. So whether I've tried rebooting the computer, I've tried all the camera settings, tried all my resolutions. I don't think it's ever done this before. I think I've done it on the last video, but oh well. What do you do? There's actually a bit of cleanup that's got to be done here as well. Just see if the MP thing stick will get in there. Just get rid of the carnage. There's a bit of a just get this to stand up. Hang on, guys. Bear with me. And we have a viewer. Well, it seems to be getting in there. So I'm not having too many drawings. I am trying to flatten this out, so let's see if this is the right part of it. The join line seems to be coming out, so well, not all as well. I'm just going to dip. I'm going to get a water pot, dip the end in there because this is the thing that's their grey sanding stick in the UMP range, and you can actually use this wet sanders. So I just dipped it. I haven't dried it off or anything, so the thing's still got a lot of water in there. Try to send that top on here. That joint's pretty much gone. But, where's it going now? Where's that button stick? Alright. So is this the UMP? I'm using the green one. So you get the really fine, but then this one's like your buffing side, so you hear it squeaky when I turn it over, but just using this just to make sure. And there you go. Didn't glue it strong enough, so it'll actually come apart to crack. So where you go? Just gonna grab some of this Tetra. Stick the brush in there. It's gonna run on the inside. Let's see if I can just fill this in. I'm not going to squeeze it too much because I don't want, because the plastic's already started melting and cracking. If I push too hard, it's going to look like it's someone's come through with a welder, just a big weld line through it. I do want it to bond together, but I don't want to squeeze melted plastic through the cracks. So just going to let that sit down for a bit. Check the brush over there. Okay, so we're going to have to do something else now since there's a bit of a fail. They're both identical, 33 and 35. Nope. So I may as well just start gluing the back of the aircraft together, so all the jets and exhaust housings. So I'm just going to cut these off. And I'm also going to find the jets themselves. So 34B. Yep, that's them. Let's have a good look at this, just to make sure that I don't go cutting bits off I need. So I'm just going to take off, I'm going to try and take off this plastic here where I've cut, but if I try and sand it, I'm going to start removing the actual fine detail. So I'm just going to try something. Just going to use the Citadel mold line removal tool. And I don't think this camera's going to pick it up and try and show you, but somewhere there is where I cut it off, and there's just a tiniest bit of plastic. If you run your finger over, you can feel that it's rough, and it's going to show up when you paint the aircraft. So you can try and clean this out without seeing it. I just want to take my tool for this. So if you are watching, whoever's watching out there, if you want to go get a coffee, make a coffee, or come back, because by the time you make your coffee and come back, I think I should still be doing this. I'm going to try and take the bulk of it off, and then I can sand it just a little bit. Try to sand it. Where is my sander? Okay, here's a crack. Use those Manwar buffing sticks I got from the Hobby Expo. So look at here, rough, shine, even, smooth. Dry smooth, eh? And that makes it a bit bulky for that. It's a bit bulky. Yeah, just trying to be really careful not to take off the detailing. See the detailing edge here? There's a little. So yeah, that's what I'm trying not to sand down, trying to keep all those intact. Let's see how that sink thing's going. I'm just gonna let it dry. Just gonna leave that, not even gonna touch it. So just giving these a chop, have a bit of inspection, a little bit of flash there, but we can just take that off while it's glued together. I'd rather take it off and sort of sand that area in one, instead of trying to sand it in two pieces, otherwise it's going to be all uneven and wonky. Yeah, so what we're going to do here is get this glue. Then there's a couple of, on this kit on the back exhaust here, you've got a couple of locating pins. So there's one on each corner. You've got a couple of holes up here. They just simply slot in there. So what I'm going to do now is just going to give a, I don't think quick clamps, I'm just going to squeeze down too hard on it. I think I'm just going to use my fingers. But this new glue I'm using now, it's going to, I'm not going to have to hold this very long at all. So dip it in there. Use capillary action just in the cracks. All the way around. All the joins on the inside. And just lay down the glue on the end. Just going to make sure it's all straight and even. Even Stevens. Yeah, just managed to get it flat. What I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to run a little bit on the outside here, just quickly. I can just send that out too, so that's no drama. So I'm just doing a test on these holes. So that's going to get cleaned out. Just going to get the Citadel mold line removed, and I'm just going to scrape that plastic back. That seems to be lifting the exhaust up from the mouse here. That's better. Don't even need to send it back. So, yep. And they have to be painted separately, I think. Because if I leave them in there, I'm not going to be able to get sort of behind all this with the, I think I'm going to use, I might try, because I do have a new paint for this. I've also got some for armor and for trucks. Yeah, I might actually just try dark iron, just for an experiment on this. That's the Mr. Hobby Buffables dark iron. I'll try that, and I'll just probably just brush highlight the other colours on there. At least I want a dark iron in there, and I'll just get a Q-tip and just run around in there. So let all that settle. And so far this glue is really nice. I've only really glued these things together. And that's just from the review videos. They're still floating around my desk. But it's been a couple of days now, so I mean we might as well have a look at it while we're here. Like it's full full cure. So well there you go, the Revell snapped. So I just touched it and she snapped, so that's after 2 days. So that failed. Oops, maybe Revell probably didn't want to see that. But this is the Tamiya. There's no joint's not breaking away, it's not separating. And Tetra, she's really sturdy, guys. Yeah, very, very sturdy. Yes, if you end up getting some of that stuff, you're going to be really happy with it. So I'm going to let that dry. I'm just going to leave the jets in there just to make sure that it just keeps its shape. Like it's probably not going to move anyway, but that's how much faith I have in stuff. Have faith, have faith. So, straight away, notice where I've cut the plastic. A bit of a divot in there, so I think I've just put the clippers too close to the styrene, and she's made a bit of a nasty. And you probably just make it out there, even though it's not that clear, you can just see it. There's a bit of a nasty mark on there. So what we're going to do, okay, we've got a couple of options here. We can either use Citadel's liquid green stuff, or we could use some kind of putty, turmeric modeling putties. But what I've found, and I've got all this stuff here, so but what we're going to try, what I have been using a lot with great success, is just some modeling paste that I got from the art store. And some hobby shops may sell this. You never know, but I just picked this up from the dollar store. So, and it's just a really thick, almost like a really super thick acrylic paint. But you know, if you remember that every time I name a price, it's going to be in Australian. It's Australian dollars, so it's not too hard to work out. If you're in the UK, it's probably like a bit half. And then if you're in the US, it's pretty close to it. In euros, I'm not too sure, so I guess. Vegemite. How you going, Andrew? Yeah, so all it is, and you just see it's thick. So I'm just going to dip. I'm going to clean the brush out. I'm going to dip in there. You can see I can just like swish it around. And you see how thick it is. It's just a modeling paste. So you can build it up in layers and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just going to dab it on there. So yeah, it's designed, and if like when you go to the dollar store, they do, or what I said before, they do sell it in the arts and crafts section of the dollar store I go to anyway. Most dollar stores over here, that's where you'll get it from. So yeah, it is designed to be sanded back. You can sand it. And you can paint it, prime it. You can, if you want to make a textured paint for, say, you're doing like Warhammer based, even not even so much Warhammer. If you just want to put little bases on your miniatures, you can easily mix up sand. Yeah, well, there you go. That's exactly the texture what it's like. If you have, I've never used, I can't say that I've used the Vallejo, their texturing paints like their sand. I think that's what it is. I haven't actually got any myself, so I'm just assuming that's what it is. Their basing or their diorama paints when they come in those big containers. So yeah, but I know that the Tamiya texture paint is quite thick, but I've had to thin it down a bit because it's I'd add some water. It's just way too thick for me to use. But it's very similar texture. So yeah, it's the Tamiya Stall Effects, the Citadel's what do they call it? Their texture paints. I think it's called. Geez, I've got it over here. Can't see. It is. Nope, that's not it. Don't do it. Yeah, so they're still in mud. So if you add a bit of water to it and thin it out quite a bit. I don't know if you thin it out a bit. Now you just add really fine sand. I mean, like, and not even much of it. You could probably make the texture of typhus corrosion, but it's more like a sterling mud. So if you've got the Citadel stuff, that's how thick that modeling paste is. And you can easily add sand and gravel and whatever you want to it, and you can just make your own like base paint. Even mix it up in a separate pot. But yeah, like that was $11 Australian, and you're getting a ton. Like you get absolute heap of 500 mils, and it's, yeah, it's pretty heavy, so you're getting a lot of paint. So let's let that dry as well. That's like a big cancerous blob on the side of it. So we can send that back later. Right. What I might do is I might do a test because I've never actually used it. So I'm just going to crack out this Flory Models black clay based wash. I just want to do a little test on something. What do I do with these containers? So we've got here just an old crappy container. I'm just going to get a toothpick. Just going to can some into this container here. It smells very soapy. It smells completely different to the UMP stuff. The UMP stuff doesn't have a soapy sort of, yeah, strange. Yeah, I'm starting to guess it's almost like a sludge wash. It's just got detergents and stuff in it. You just shake it up and it gets quite bubbly as well. Like, yeah, who knows? So I've just got a little bit in the bottom here, not much of it. I'll actually spray this with gloss first as well. So don't have as much work to scrub back. Okay, let's see how we get off this. I'm either going to like it or I'm going to hate it. So far it's a nice wash, but it is very different to the UMP stuff. It very different characteristics. Just looks different when you put it on. Yes, I'm just doing all the grey work. I'm not actually going over the seats themselves. I won't go over the seats later, but I'm just testing it out. Because I'm putting it on a non-glossed surface, because I do want that grimy look. I don't want those really clean edges. So and just remember too, this is like the UMP wash where you just let it dry. Get an old paper towel and just yeah, just take it off. Take as much or as little as you want. So just what's over that control. Headrest there. Yeah, it's very, very soapy indeed. That's what I'm noticing. It seems you just smell it, like it just smells completely different. It smells very like a yeah, like a detergent fragrance to it. And so far I'm liking this. So I'm just going to do the back as well. I'm just going to slap it on the back. I'm going to do the inside as well, make sure. Hang on. Okay. And I'm just going to do one test. I don't know what colour that is, I'm not even going to touch that yet. But because the dash panel is still flat, so there's going to be no gravity, sort of, you know, if I was putting it in there and I left it, gravity's just going to pull the watch down towards the bottom. But because this is on a flat surface, and if I don't like it, I can easily just paint over it again. I'm actually just going to do a test on this before I actually do the rest of the cockpit. So I'm just treating this the same as the UMP stuff, just slapping it on. Just slap it on. Slap, slap, slappy. Alright. Yeah, so if you've never actually used this stuff, which is, and this is my first time, with any of the two clay-based washes, whether it's the Flory Models wash or it's the Ultimate Weathering wash made by the boys from International Scale Modelers, and the black stuff I'm using here is basically, or it's from Flory Models, and yeah, you use them exactly the same as each other. Just basically slap them on, let them dry, and then just using water, just plain old water, just to wipe it off. And if you don't like it, you can take it off completely. But because I haven't actually protected this one, it's still on like on the matte finish that I painted in the first build video of this series. I'm just going to see how it goes, because because I want to darken. I want to darken the actual color. So I want the black. I also want the dark grey, like sort of more of a shadow. And then I may have to re-highlight with a dry brush, and then I'll probably just do the edge with the cigarette filter technique. So that's just there dry. I'm just going to back the camera off a little bit. It's too wet to dry. Too wet to touch. I'm just going to put some more of those back on the shelf. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so it's drying. Glue those on. Right. Let's see how this syntax is drawing. I don't know if you pick this up. There's a pencil lamp on behind the camera here. You can see in there. You can see like the syntax actually starting to dry in there, and that's a pretty heavy sinker that's in there. She probably comes halfway up the nose cone here, but yeah, you can see in there that it's dried because it is a very thick glue. She's not going to run down like just from gravity and just seep down in the front. I mean, if you put enough of it down there, it's going to run and leak out. But because it is actually quite thick, just plug it in there with a cocktail stick or anything you got, and a bit of wire or something, you can just not worry about it and just keep using it. And I've actually just put it all over the sinker as well on the top. So just that's coming along quite nicely. So that didn't take long to dry at all. Like I can stick my finger in there and touch it, and I'm not getting any wetness like from the glue on my finger. Yeah, so there's really, because I don't really want to do much on this because I can't do much. I can't really glue it yet because I've still got that paste on there drying. There's a random little bit on the instructions here, which I'm still trying to work out. It's saying to cut the plastic away. I'm not saying drill holes, but then they've got a pair of scissors, so it's just random. Yeah, just there, like it's. You can see that it's saying, you know, these two little bits here, they go. There's a little dotted line in there, so maybe you just glue it and it sticks in there. And I think that's what they want you to do. Yep. So I do. I'm not too sure if I've got them in that yet. What part is that? No. I'm just not sure if I've got those cut out or they're on the sprue still. I think they're on the sprue still, so I have to cut them out. I've already cut out bonus. So that's in there. And this is the piece that they get glued on. And then inside there's no actual markings to say where they go. There's no. Yeah, it's just weird, man. It's just weird. So that I'm going to have to sort of think about. So those two bits there, I think they've already cleaned them up. They've already been sanded, so they're just ready to be glued on. Wings, I've just got to cut out all the braces inside here. So B15B, C15B, and so there's 3 bits that go in there as well. These 3 parts I've got to cut out. I've also got to cut the support beam that goes across the middle here. You've got to cut that out. There's a couple of pins that you've got to cut out off the screw as well, and they get melted. So once the wings go on, the brace goes across. So if I sort of just quickly or roughly put this together. Alright, so the beam goes across there with the pins, and the pins go in. What's it say here? Okay, they get, I know, the beam goes across from this hole here to this one, and then the pins actually go in there and get glued into the bottom. So now that's, I'm going to have to use a paintbrush and just put a tiniest bit in there, and that should hold. But I've got to be careful not to actually glue the pin on the wing, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to glue the pin under this bottom section here. And then once I get the once you get all the movement right and everything, who knows? Like I'm not too sure yet. Like I might even be able to see how far it comes out, and I might be able to spray it, and I might be able to move it still, but I'm not a big fan of it. So just because the pylons here, I'm going to glue them in, fix them in, so hard glue them in there so they don't move, because they're just going to snap, and I don't want. And when they do snap, I'm just going to have to glue them in anyway. So whenever the wing's in, folded back position or low feed position, the pylons are going to look weird because they're going to be like out of alignment. They're not going to be straight, so as if it's in flight, it's not going to be straight. They're going to be all over the shop. So that's why I'm thinking about just gluing them in place. So we'll see. We'll deal with that when we get there. That's part of the build. And also, there is a brace that goes along the back by joining these two together, and I guess that's just to keep the like these are movable on the kit as well, so you can have adjustable rotors on the back here, or ailerons I should say, on the back, if that's the right word for it. So they get glued in place, so they sit flat Yeah, the injector pin marks are on the bottom, so whether they're like that, so I don't. They seem to be centered right in the middle as well, so but I might do that. So we're going to do 31B. I think they're here. So that's 31. 31B. 31B. And I'm just going to give this a quick sand. I'm just going to start using these new sanding sticks I got just to see how what they're like. So far they're pretty good. I'm pretty happy with them. I'm just going to spin around for a second, guys. Just this little sand. And like, I don't even know why I'm sanding them, because you're not even going to see them once you're inside the aircraft. But just, yeah, just doing it just to test these sanding sticks out. They seem to be doing the job. Like this step one, the even one's actually quite nice. So you've got, I guess there's 6 steps. So this will be, they should make this number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 5, then 6. Higher the number, the smoother the finish. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with them. Can't complain. $3. That's pretty much all I paid each for them. So now these are meant to be. I think that's funny. What they're saying here is to heat the bottom, but I don't know why they just say to glue in. So what I might do is I might what did I do with it? I might be on the bench here. Yep. Bugger it. Can't find it. So what we're going to do is get some clamps. So just going to get some biggies. This may work, this may not. Okay, so that seems to hold. So I'm just going to use alligator clips on these little sticks. So what I'm going to do is, if I can just this, take these off. We don't need these on for the time being. So they just go there. So I'm just going to get this tetra out again. So glue this in place. As you can see, every time I use this brush in the tetra, I haven't washed it out, so like it's, you know, the brush is still not clogged up or anything. So yeah, we're not going to get much time with this. So we're going to dip it in the glue. I'm just going to put a bit on the surface here. Press down on it. Just to sort of hold it in place. And we'll do the other one. We'll do it this way. The dollops in there. And just give it a press down there, just so the glue starts doing its stuff. And treat this pretty much the same as tapping extra thin. If you get in under your finger, just get it off before you touch the plastic, because you are going to leave fingerprints as well, guys. So I'm going to just get a clamp, or alligator clip. And I'm just going to put it in place. So more or less just squeeze them on there. Well, it's pretty good, so I don't think we need clamps. It's just how quick this stuff reacts. And then just try not to get any glue on the round part here, on the pivot point. If you get any glue on there, she's going to get stuck in there, and you want this thing to move. Let's see how it goes. So put that, I think you lay it down so it dries flat. Alright, so that's that. I'm just going to go back to the tail itself. Where it cracked earlier on. I'm just going to give it a quick sand out with start using the buffing stick. And I'm just going to see if we buff it out. Run my finger over it. Yeah, so that's, you hear that squeaky because it's really, really, really smooth. So just, you see it start to shine. Maybe if you see any light reflection on there. I know the resolution's pretty bad, but it feels alright to me. That's alright, mate. So just by the test fit as well, when I put the the tail plane on the back here, you can see that there is a massive gap where it joins, so that's going to have to be dealt with as well. And then I'll probably take a rescribing or something like that. And like it's a pretty big gap. So we'll see. Just fit that in there. So what we're going to do, you can see because it's not sitting down there properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the airbrush needle. Just clear some bench space so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to stick the needle in the back here, and I'm just going to pull it apart, like just so it sits in there nice. So double check with this that this all fits when I put it together. Right. Double check that I can glue this now. Yep, I got it. Why not? What we're going to do, use this tetra again. Yeah. You probably won't see much of the Tammy extra thinner in this build, I don't think, unless I don't know, unless I require for something really, really small. But I mean, with this paintbrush and this glue, like I'm loving this glue at the moment. So I'm going to dip in there. Using the reaction, it's going to dip in the corner. Which is why the needle's here, because you can see it keeps wanting to pull back in. Just a weird angle here, so you can see that. It's not spinning out evenly, so I might try and glue this back bit first. Just got some, so it's got something to bite onto and hold. So just dab it a bit in the corner. And the same, you put them inside, I think, what I can. And keep the glue lines to a minimum, or glue residue to minimum on the outside. That. And then wherever there's recessed panel lines on the plastic here as well, and we may not pick it up, or might just see them there. So at a weird angle, just hard to hold it with my hand is. I'm trying not to run the brush over that recess line, because what's going to happen is if you do run your brush over it, the line's going to disappear. So I'm just going to finish it off. I mean, already you can feel that the bond's actually quite strong. That's a pretty big piece of plastic to stick on there, and you know, I can roll that around. Already that's not moving. So we're very careful here. There's a really shallow recess panel line that runs along the spine here as well. So just going to run it down here. Just every time I'm dipping, because I don't want much glue to run in the crack either, so every time I'm dipping the brush in the bottle, like you can see, I'm just dipping it in there and I'm just screening it off, just taking off the excess. I'm just taking my time, section by section. I'm not trying to run one massive bead along here. And then just make the ends a bit stronger. I'm just going to tap some right on the back corners here. And that's pretty damn scary. Once again, don't have to wash your brush out. Just chuck it on the bench on a bit of tissue. As long as you keep the same brush for this glue, which is I've got a cement brush here labeled. You can use that all the time for this glue. So if you see that contaminated, you'd have to add water, mix water with it or anything. So it's just going to sit there. Alright, and these two little bits here that I cut off earlier, I'm going to glue them on. 41. Yeah, so we're just cutting off these two little pieces here, these two, and the one's 43C. You can see at the back there, 43C. They're not needed because we're painting the German Air Force or the Luftwaffe version of it. And so I don't need them, so snip, snippity snip. Make sure. So where's that go? They go. about there. So I'm just going to get it all. Actually, get this tetra ready. So this is where this tetra plastic solvent is going to come in handy, because it's seeing the review and how quick it actually binds plastic or styrene together. Yeah, I want this to be fairly strong, so I've just got them squeezed between my fingers at the moment with no glue on it, just to make sure that it's all nice. So yep, grab, dip the brush in the glue. I'm just going to brush it down on the inside. Hopefully that seeps in between the two parts, welds them together. And just be careful, because the plastic's very thin on the outside. You don't want the tetra to touch that as yet, because it'll just eat it. Okay, so luckily the back's all bonded together. And because we are going to sand the top, I'm just going to slightly spread those two parts apart, and then run the brush inside. Okay, just give them a light squeeze. You don't have to squeeze the hell out of it. You can see that the excess glue is coming out. I didn't put much in there, but because it's a completely flat surface, it's like putting glue between two books. It just squeezes them straight out. So just let that. And what I'm going to do is quickly tack this on so we can sand it while it's. So what we're going to do again. So I'm just going to quickly brush it on the inside, just so we can glue it on. And we'll just carefully, without getting the tetra on any other parts if you don't want to get glue on, checking your fingers especially. And just going overhead, just checking it by, it's straight. So I can get some tetra. Put it there as well. Give them a push back. What I might do is just get some clips, alligator clips, just something to squeeze down even harder. That seems to be working. I'm trying to get these bottom edges glued down as well. Right, so I'm just going to put the cap back on in. Press it down with it. So I'm just pressing it down on this again. all I'd have to do is just run some more on this very back edge here too. Yeah, just on the back. Yeah, just on the top. Just on the top bit here. Whoops. Get in the camera, you idiot. Yeah, just on the top bit here because she's not sticking down, so don't need much here because it's so thin. Like so, I mean the plastic's so thin, so it takes a second for it to start melting and welding. So just give that a press down as well. Double check everything because once she starts going off, which is very quickly, you're not going to get a chance to move it. So we'll check these. That's already pretty sturdy as well. So double check these. That seems alright. So now that I'm happy with it, just going to finish it off. Dip the brush back in the blue. And just using blue action, I'm just going to round a couple of pinholes here. So where the pins off this brace have gone through to these plates here, I'm just running glue around the outside there. Around the outside, around the outside. And I'm not drowning it either because if you put too much, the plastic will start just eating away. And yeah, you want to join the plastic, not turn into a molten goop. Just go aside for a few more minutes to settle a bit. Just double check back on this tail assembly area, making sure she's all good. I'm pretty happy with it, so we'll just let it sit. We've also, on the back here, so if you notice there's a couple of it's all opened up and very detailed in there. It actually gives you an option for air brakes open. So I think, yeah, just for a bit more detail, I'm going to have them open. Yep, so they go in there. Yeah, it's weird. Oh, okay. What is it for? I just tried gluing that in, I think. Yeah, that's pretty random too, because it doesn't say how far, and all I've got is a dotted line on instructions to go off, but I don't have the don't have any markings on the plastic itself, so I think I'm just going to have to wing this. Yeah, maybe that's just a bit of reinforcing, I think, inside, just to make that corner a bit stronger. That's what I'm thinking. Alright, spudder it. Let's just do it. If it doesn't work, I can just file it back. So I'm just going to put a little clamp down there, just to get it started while I glue it. So I'm just using plain old alligator clips, nothing fancy. Half decent anyway. It goes down a fair bit. So I reckon whoever drew these instructions, so it's a pretty old kit too, so I'm just going to open it back up. Try this left handed, which is going to be strange. Let's soak in there. Let's give it a squeeze. See how quick it reacts. I just plop it in there and let go already. And then just going to finish off. I'm just going to run it around the inside as well. So. Okay, so that's one. A bit more at the top here. Just give it a squeeze. Just get that squeeze together. And I'm trying not to disturb the actual surface here where the two parts are going to join. Like I'm not going to put that down now. So that I guess that's what it is. That's a reinforcing plate behind here. So when you put them together, it's going to be something it's not going to flex in. So that's a good idea. So that's all it is. I think it's nothing cosmetic. It's more structural. There is going to be a gap there anyway, so it's going to be dealt with. Right. So put these bad boys on. Right, this one. Right. Okay. So these ones here are meant to be heated together. And this is where I'm going to show you how I do it. So it doesn't really matter at this stage. I guess all that's going to be covered anyway. So if you mark the plastic by over melting it, I don't think it's going to matter too much. Now where is it? Just going to find my magic little candle. Where are you? Yeah, what I do here. Checking here. Oh dear Lord. Fun. It kind of sucks because I kind of need this candle. Want it more open. Oh well. Where did they go? Oh, just got an all random candle then. So all we're going to do, just make that off, and it's going to catch a light and burn. So what I'm going to do is going to light this candle. Yeah, funny story on this candle too. I actually got another one. I went to this dollar store one day, and in the blue and pink 3-tier shelves that you see on the bench. You know what I'm talking about. Go back to one of my introductions, or one of my new introductions, recent from my videos. And you'll see, I think it's the first 2 photos on my introduction. You'll see my workbench. And to the left of me, there's a blue shelf, and they've all got my paints on it and my glues and things. And the pink one's got all my like enamel washes and Italleri paints, my Reaper HD paints on it. And I went think I was there the day before, well, not literally speaking, but when I bought these shells, I was there the day before, and I ended up buying, you know, a few things, brushes, and just for art supplies for my bench. And then I went back the next day and I bought the shells. And he basically was like an Indian, like really nice guy too. He's yeah, and he basically disappeared for a minute, and his wife was serving me at the counter. And he goes, hang on a minute, hang on a minute. I said, oh, okay, I'll hang on a minute. He comes back with his candles. And he was like, oh, thank you for, you know, spending money, or so much money in our shop. And I was like, that's all right, mate. You know, you got some good stuff here. And I came back. But those shells that I picked up were actually quite cheap and actually quite strong. So I wouldn't mind getting some more and sort of making a decent sized shelving unit. So, and that was really cheap. So I was pretty happy with that too. I wonder why that seems. Alright, melt that in, not that bit. That goes in there, not that. That goes in there, not that. Alright, so I'm going to use. I don't have anything bigger at this stage, so I'm just going to use the flat edge of the airbrush needle. I don't like using a screwdriver. It's just not precise enough, and just the weird angles, and the blade's too big, and this is nice, just the right size. So we're just going to heat it up. I'm going to go down the bottom. It's not too hot because the top is just blackens the needle head, the needle not too much. So I'm just going to move this candle out of the way so you can see. And what we're going to do is we're going to press down. Just press. Just keep pressing. And let it go hard. Stuff in there. I think anything else that's a bit bigger. This plastic's a bit big. Nothing plastic on that. That might be ideal. I'm just going to use the end of my compass here. It's got a pretty flat surface on it. So I'm going to take it to heat up this one. The candle, check on the wax as well, so she's pretty warm. Try again. No. She's hot. I might use a shot glass as well. Maybe see if we can get in there. That's a bit trickier than what I thought. I really want to try and get this bit hot though. This is ideal. That's pretty much. just pressing down on the back one here. You see the finger in there, she's holding it in there. And it doesn't leave much room for the other side, so I'm just going to quickly just curl it down quickly. Or you can either just dip your finger in the water and that. And just wipe the excess away just to cool that plastic down quick. Line out. So that way you've got a brace. And now she's all together. And if these break off, it doesn't matter, I'm not too worried about that. They go back in there. Let's see if this works. Way, put in plastic. That's better. So now if they brace in, theoretically it should just move back and forward on its own. So like that. Now I'm just going to cut out the those pins that they need. They are. There's a 29C. There's a C sprue. That's the B sprue. That's the A sprue. That's another A sprue. That's where the C sprue is. And 29. There they are. Right at the top here. So get rid of that. Clippers again. Because these are small, these are very important parts. I'm just going to hold them while I cut them. Press down on them. Let's have a look. And then I'm just going to give them a quick little sand down, just using the UMP sanding sponge because it's really soft. You can see how much you can squeeze down the seam. So she's going to take the contours of the edge of the round part here without flattening it down. Now it's not a massive sand either, it's just to clean it up a little bit, just to get rid of the some of the sharpness off the edge, because I want it to sit in there quite nicely. It doesn't need a sand, don't sand it, don't have to. And I'm just going to do a quick test fit, make sure it goes in. Yep. So, let's check the other one before I pull it back out again. Yep. Okay, so I do see they're snug. Take them out. And put the wings, push the wings back in carefully. Okay. What I'm going to do is, you've only got one shot at this too, so you've got to be you don't want to load your brush up heaps, just enough. keypad. So if you ever played that old Milton Bradley game Operation, where you got uses tweezers to pick out the body parts, and if it goes bzzz, yeah, you got to put the piece back down. This is pretty much it. If it goes bzzz, means you've got the glue on the wing, which you don't want. You don't want to put that much in there either, because when you put the lug in there with a pin, you don't want to squeeze the glue out on the wing itself and jam it all up. So put it in there, and then using the flat part of your airbrush nail. We can use a pointed part, it doesn't really matter. Just press down, push it down there so it's snug. Just clean off any excess plastic from the floor as well. And I'm not going to play with this wing, I'm just going to let this Tetra cure. But I'll be separating it. So far it hasn't gone bzzz. So I'm actually too scared to put too much on my brush, so that's why it took me about 3 or 4 goes to get it in there. Oops. So you can see the lugs are sitting in those holes now. So just giving it a press down. Just give it a press in there, making sure they're in. Just making sure the wings are down as far as they can without scratching anything. So it's all in. So we're about to let that dry now. What's that goes on? So far, so good. Yeah, the Simtac 1000 is really good for gluing nose weights, and yeah, it's just really rubbery, really sticky. There's a bit of like gives you a bit of play. That was super good. If you move it too far, the stress, you get stress cracking, she just peels off. Yeah, this rub is like just like a really sticky rubber adhesive. But the more, like, I'm not really going to do a review on it just yet, guys. I haven't really played around with it enough to really explain what it does, what you can do with it. Ian did explain to me at the Brisbane Hobby Expo model Hobby Expo, what it actually does and how it works. But yeah, so I'm basically just doing what he told me to do, or how to use it. Okay, so just hyperextend the wings a bit. I need to get in here just to give this modelling putty a quick sand down. It should be dry enough to sand. So use a sanding sponge. Zoom in. So, like I said before, it's the modelling paste. Yeah, it's so easy to use. You can use it for gap filling. You can use it for texturizing armor, and if you're even that clever, I guess you could use it for Zemrit on your World War II tanks, German armor. Just go section by section because it is a modelling paste, and that's what it's designed for. It's designed to build up layers. You get textures on whatever you're painting. So you're just gonna get one of my thinning sticks out. I'm gonna take a bit off. I'm gonna use this black one here. It's a fairly coarse one that UMP make, but I'm only using the narrow part of it. I'm not using the fat end of it. Yes, I'm just trying to take off as much as I can. So I'm basically just want to see the silhouette of that nasty hole that we had in that plastic before. Yeah, I'm not too worried to take away that panel line either. We can just re-scrub that. Going. Try this white one. Glue on here. Oh. Off that one. So I'm going to try and sand this out. It's going to take a bit of sand out, so So that's the bulk of it gone. I'll finish that off when I glue the two parts together. That's a bit random. I don't know if you can do that to the kit. Okay. Oh well. Oh well. So what happens if I glue that down? And there are these spaces, so find those grease through. Let's see, that was A. What should be B? Okay, so let's find these three parts, which is what, 15. C, 15B. Okay, 15B, 15C. Wow, okay. So these are the three braces at the front. Chop them off willy-nilly because they're only braces. Don't think you're going to see them. You can't, it's pretty hard to not distinguish them from each other because part C is actually really long, so making sure that these are quick clean up. So just in case you're going to glue anything to them, the flash, there's only a tiny bit of flash on these two guys, so you wouldn't really worry about too much. But just so you know that it's kind of clean. You just do it anyway, I guess. Bit of reassurance. Alright. Goes there. Ooh, okay. I think I know why this is so good. Quick little test fit thing here. So that one goes. Do they go on the inside or the outside? And the same thing, so fit. Let's have a look. Let's see if I can page over, see if they tell us anything. Because at the moment I can't see squat. Oh yeah, okay. I've got it here. So all we're going to do is, these are just more braces. These are more structural than anything. out my new favourite thing in the world. Yeah. Be fairly generous with this stuff, I think. Okay, so there are little. I was trying to work out before because, like, on the arrow, on the instructions, it's saying to put it here, but what they actually want you to pull is completely wrong. So there is little, little raised panel lines, and they're basically just little rectangles. When there, you can see it, and that basically tells you where to put them. So. So what I want to do, put a bit around this, slow it down for a little bit, make it a bit more actually. So, push that down. So just to check, so when we put this down, got something to structurally spaces it out enough so it's, that's the whole idea of these little bits here. So I think we should get into it. Everything so far, part of this stage of the build is complete. So you don't actually glue those down, so we've got to be very careful not to put any glue on that. So just going to make sure that it's all making sure it's all nice. Oops. I think the first bit I'm going to glue is this brace here. Now, so all I'm doing is one drop, just let the capillary action just suck the glue in there. Take on the whole. I'm just going to do the braces on here, I think. Just get them done with first because they're fairly small parts. I want to get that spacing right, and I guess we can get the rest of it right. So just give it a quick wipe down. Okay. I'm just going to put the jets on the back prematurely. I'm not going to glue them down. I just want to make sure that the actual fit on the arse of it is flat. Okay, so far that's pretty good. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to somehow hold it without breaking it. Alright, so we're going to try. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll try. So let's tip it down. Touch the corner. Yeah, I'm just touching it in certain spots and then just letting the glue run down the crack. Get spread out. I'm trying not to let the glue run where that pivot point is for the rudders on the back, because if for the ailerons, I think they're cool. I'm not too sure. I just build. Not a technical specs bloke, so. What I might do is, if I can, this is getting tricky. I'm just going to run on the inside here. Just going to run the brush on the joint on the inside, and still trying to be careful. I'll do. Just want to get the end of it. Just give it a quick hold. A few seconds. Get another touch up in there. Okay, so that's pretty good. I'll do the same deal again on the back of it just to get it started, I think. Oops. That's what I didn't want. Okay, so just from this corner here to see, it's actually taking a fair way up too, so squeeze. And then once again, I'm just going to put this in here. Make sure that's flat, because if I can help it, I don't really use filler on the back here. That's actually quite good, so. And just to make sure, I'm just going to give the center brace just a bit more texture on the bottom here. So from there, and just redo around the top. Just a bit more, just give it a little touch. I mean, once the nose, once the cockpit sort of section goes on, it's fairly strong anyway, so Oops. Keep moving that around. I don't want the tetra to sit in there. Right. So you see that moves. That's proposable. But then I'm thinking, over time, that's just going to move on its own. So I might even glue that in place yet. I might do that before. I'll let everything else dry first, and I'll probably just whack some tetra in there. Don't know. Yeah, I don't like that idea of just moving around because, you know, 5-6 years down the track, it's just going to go. As cool as it is, it moves, but yeah, it's going to be a nuisance. So a couple little bits there, a couple little bits there. Those bits done. Bombs. I'm just going to go back and work on the very first step, which is the canopy cockpit. So that's most of that done. So it's good to have that out of the way. Starting to look like a bit of a plane now. So that B is for black, A is that grey colour. Light goes grey. So B. Now before I do anything down here, I actually do a test run with this piece. This piece here. And this is the bit that had the Flory Models black wash on there. As you can see, it's been a while now. She's definitely dry. There's no wet spots on it. There's no shine. So we're pretty much ready to take this off. So what we want, and you've got to be careful too, because we haven't, well, I've got to be careful. You don't have to be careful. I have to be careful because I haven't protected that layer of grey on the instrument panel. But I guess this is a quick demonstration how the rest of it will be done. So if you've never actually used any of either the UMP wash or you've never used the Flory Models wash, this is how you get rid of it. So you don't want to saturate your paper towel, just a bit of paper towel, just dip in some water. Alright, and you don't want it wet out. So if you've got to take some of the water off on your t-shirt, you'll fold it up a few times, let the rest of it take the excess water out of the way. You rub it on your hands or even on your board. And if it leaves like a big wet trail on your cutting mat, it's too wet. You don't want it wringing wet, you just want it damp, so you just feel the moisture on it. And I'm just going to leave it on the ruler just so I can bring it up closer to you. So you can see just starting to come off. Now too much is coming off, don't stress, you can always put more on, okay? So just you don't want to rub really hard too, because you still want to rub. This stuff will come off really easy with water, but you just want lightly enough to take the wash off the top, but you want to leave it in all those really nice little recessed parts around the switches, around all the screens. And you take your time with this. But then, you know, if you do take too much off, it's not the end of the world. Just stop, and apply more. Pretty much are happy with it. So yeah, so if any of the ISM boys are watching, or even the guys on there that talk to Paul, hound him to make a black, because if he does, it's going to sell like hotcakes. Everybody needs black wash. Everybody uses black wash, one sort of another. And the comments box up. The comment box is open, guys, too. So if you want to leave a comment, ask a question, mate, go for it. Yeah, just don't ask how long a goat's penis is, because I wouldn't know. That I can't answer. So see that I've taken a little bit too much off the back here. If I can see, like, this camera doesn't really pick it up because it's really grainy. But I don't know if I can bring it close and probably see more. So this is more just a practice run with it, because this is the first time I've used the Flory model stuff. So trying to get it all out, and just trying to leave it around the edges. I don't want it sort of pooling up, so that leaves big black areas. Okay. So far so good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave that now that I know how it works. I think I'm just going to put on the rest here, slap it all on, clean it off, then I'll probably start hand painting all the instrument. I'll seal it off, protect it, because as soon as you add water to it, it just comes off. So yeah, lay the wash down, let it dry, take it off. If I need to put any more on, or vice versa, I'll just put more on, seal it, and then I'll just start hand painting all the instruments, just so they're a bit more vibrant. So put the wash over, it's going to be a bit darker. That's what I've found in the past. So here we go. So just give it a shake up. Right. Getting the alcohol tusk again. Putting on the edge of your bottle. That way it doesn't run down the neck of the bottle. Yeah. Fairly clean decant out of your bottle. Getting the old wash brush out again. And I literally just going to slap it in here. And I generally, even when I'm painting my miniatures, I'll generally just even wash a miniature quite early, or wash a model quite early, just to see where the details are, because a lot of the times I have trouble seeing it. It might be my eyesight, or probably just the way that the colours are. So that way, if you wash it early. That's why these clay-based washes are good, because you can just wipe them off if you don't need them. down there. So I'm not going to do the entire thing. Just going to do around the bottoms here. So we can always use a cotton tip or Q-tip, whatever, just to get rid of it. Okay, so might as well do more things. It looks even, I guess. Too late. So yeah, just being very liberal with it, just slapping it around. Okay, so that's going to take a little bit to dry. Put that down. You can see, yeah, you can just see how just slapped it on in there. No care taken. I'm not trying to be with neatness awards on this technique here. I'm just going to give it another hit of the which I might do the whole lot, I think. So I used the Citadel wash on it, and I wasn't very happy how it turned out. Too much cleaning up with a paintbrush, and this way I can just get a bit of fabric and just wipe over it. So just do what I need, just do another test, see how it works out. Okay. So that's done there. So that's alright. Okay. What I might do, I just might do around the seatbelts as well. So, take some off the edge of the bottle. And I'm pretty much just putting it all over the seats as well. We did all the grey areas at the very start of this video, but I'm just going to put some shading behind this seat belt. So we'll just I'm just going to take it to dry as well, so I'm just going to leave that. And so far, my opinion on this wash, I'm really liking it. What do you So that's drying. Now you got to dry. And done. So it's actually quite an easy kit to put together. There's not that many parts, so what we're going to do is I'm going to end this part here, part 2. I'm planning to break for a while, and if I do get time tonight, because I've got to work tomorrow, so if I do get time tonight and I'm filling up to it, I'll start part 3, but I'll let all this dry. But if not, I'll probably leave it here as is, because I can't really do much more. I've got to let everything dry. Little Tetris set. I'm going to go back over it and touch up a few spots if it needs it. And I just don't really want to disturb it. So yeah, I'm going to call it quits here. How smooth is that? That's coming out. It's coming pretty smooth. But yeah, so thanks for watching part 2. Well, not really part 2, but number 2 of this build. And we'll see you on part 3. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later.